Hi guys. All right, so I'm going to start with our reading for the day, and we will be reviewing the first part of Granny Nell's Dulcimer, and then we'll start on the second part. Your targets for today are: I can infer the emotions of characters. I can draw conclusions based on clues. Your phonics skill for today is a review, but it's a combination. It's combination OR. A combination is two letters that come together to make an unexpected sound. So because we have this bossy R in all of our words, we're not going to get the sound of O that we think that we should. Now, the most common sound, I would say, for a combination OR is the OR sound. And you hear OR in all of these words: horse, orange, forest, orbit, morning. And all of those say OR. The combination of OR also has another unexpected sound, and I wish I could tell you that there was a rule that makes it work, but there is not. Word, worse, worthy, worship, worksheet. The only thing that I do see that they have in common is that they all have a W, but I'm not going to tell you that that rule works every time. So just know that combination OR is an unexpected sound, and it could be OR as in horse, or it could be as in word. So if OR doesn't work, then try it with if you get to an unknown word. There's some sentences at the bottom of the page that's attached, and your choices are crossword, earthworm, world, worry, worth. The actions of an blank help the soil. Well, that key word "and" tells me that I have to choose a word that begins with a vowel sound. So the actions of an earthworm. Yesterday, when I was working in the yard, because that's my Saturday thing, I was using the weed eater and the blower to move some leaves back that kind of build up against the chain link fence between my yard and my neighbor's yard. And I was blowing the leaves back, and I'm guessing from the vibration that the blower made and the movement of the wind, I looked down and there were 5 earthworms kind of popping up through the dirt, almost like I had gone out there with the stick and done the vibrating in the sand, the dirt. I just thought that was neat. Anyway, people all around the blank need to hear the gospel. People all around even if you didn't have a word bank, you would know that one is world. Old baseball cards may be blank a lot of money. If your dad or your grandfather collect baseball cards, you might want to go through them and see if they have any really old ones, because they could be worth a lot of money. They could have a lot of value. God wants us to trust Him and not to. This one's very appropriate for the time that we're in now with the COVID-19. He wants us to trust Him and not to worry. And I read the clues and wrote the answers on the blank puzzle, the crossword puzzle. And you know Miss Millette loves a crossword puzzle. All right, so before we get started on our second part of Granny Nell's Dulcimer, I want to review what you read in the last section. What is the setting where this story takes place? Well, where are they in this story? They're mostly in the mountain community with the woods and the stream. And Tansy goes up to see Granny Nell every day, even though that's not her granny, that's what they call her. Who are the characters in this part of the story? Well, there are 2 characters in this part, and they are Tansy and Granny Nell. And what do Tansy and Granny Nell have in common? They both enjoy music. And I found it, after watching the video of the man playing the dulcimer on YouTube and then reading this passage, I thought it was a little weird that Granny used a dried chicken bone to move up and down the strings, and then she used a turkey feather instead of her finger to pluck the strings, a turkey quill, which is the pointed end of the feather. The man in the video used his fingers, and he used his other finger to pluck with, but it made me think of a guitar where you use a pick to pick with, and that's kind of what she did with the turkey quill, was used it as a pick. Your vocabulary words today, and I have segmented them into syllables, are clinic, comp. You see, I put the schwa because this is unaccented. It says competition, and that's the final stable syllable, shun. Honeysuckle, and now this one can be wind or it could be wine, but putting ing on it makes it into a verb, and that verb is winding. So we have some sentences with some missing words in them, and one of them will be here. The answer will be here. Teacher is to school. So we're doing analogies. We've got a teacher in a school, as doctor is to. So if a teacher belongs in a school, a doctor belongs in which one of these? A clinic. Team is to teamwork. So you've got the group doing all the work. As a contestant is to a blank. A contestant would be part of a competition, like a track and field event or field day events where all of you are competing against each other. A competition is similar to a contest where people compete in order to win a prize, like on a TV show, like on The Price is Right, or I like to watch some of the old ones like Password or Concentration. Your parents would know what those are maybe. Stinky is to skunk, because a skunk stinks. As sweet is to blank. Well, which one of these would smell sweet? And that would be honeysuckle. And big is to little. Big and little are opposites. As straight is to blank. Well, what's the opposite of straight? If it's not a straight path, then it is a winding path. And when Tansy is going up the mountain to Granny Nell's, she's not going to walk a path straight up the mountain. It's going to curve back and forth. It makes it a little easier to navigate than trying to climb straight up a steep slope. All right, let's review. Where does Granny Nell live? And you should say, in a cabin in the mountains. How did Tansy find Granny Nell's cabin? Well, if you remember back to what you read, Tansy heard the music when she was walking along the trail in the woods, and she followed the sound of the music. What musical instrument does Granny Nell use to play music? And that is a dulcimer. All right. In today's section, which is section 2, you are reading Summer on Shady Mountain, and you're going to read 139, 140, and 141 to find out how Tansy spends her summer. And then you're going to read 142, 143 to find out who causes Tansy to be puzzled as she makes her way up to Granny Nell's cabin and what she discovers. I read this section before I started the video, and I think it's kind of neat to find out what greets Tansy that day that she's going up the mountain to let her know that something is going on. Okay, so when you finish, and there are questions on your parents' lesson plan sheet that you can use to make sure that you understand what you're reading, you're going to complete pages 321 and 322, and 321 is about emotions and feelings, and 322 is about R combinations. AR says R, ER says AEI, IR says UR says OR says or So remember, there are times when our R-controlled vowels do not follow the rule. because guess what? I keep hearing something like somebody's driven up. The cats are acting weird. O-R can say or. I was trying to think if A-R ever makes a weird sound, but I don't think it does. So read section 2. And I think I just told you the wrong pages. I did. I'm trying to tell you to go ahead. I did just hear a truck. I sent you ahead. 321 and 322 are no, they're not. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. You're on 319, 320. Oh, Miss Millette. Miss Millette was looking at the complete wrong section for that. 319 and 320. 319 is drawing conclusions, and 320 is working with combination OR. Tomorrow, we're going to review all the R controls. I am so sorry. So you are doing 319 and 320. And Miss Millette's already made the first mistake, if you're keeping tally. Okay, guys, read that section. This is a sweet story. I'm enjoying it, and I hope you are too. And then tomorrow, we will read the next section. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Lots of love.